Hey, hey, yes there. Where Brooklyn at? See that? Police are up your ass, now you're running up in Brooklyn. Mayor Ghoulies and he's up your crack, now you're running up in Brooklyn. But you should tread lightly, running up in Brooklyn. But you should tread lightly, running up in Brooklyn. Yes, we had one foot in the gutter, another on traveling. Got my finger on the pulse of something real, so it's time to take a stand. Brooklyn stands for equality, integrity, and it's where I live, and it's where I live, 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 it's where I live. Up in Brooklyn, fine girls running up in Brooklyn, dope DJs running up in Brooklyn, fat spliffs running through Brooklyn, getting smoked and burned up in Brooklyn. So the next time I see you running up in Brooklyn, give me a pound and keep it moving while you're running up in Brooklyn. But don't get too crazy running up in Brooklyn. Don't get too moody running up in Brooklyn. We got no time for you and this and that while you running up in Brooklyn. While you're running up in Brooklyn. Running up in Brooklyn, watch your back. Running up in Brooklyn, keep it moving up in Brooklyn. Give me a pound and keep stepping up in Brooklyn. All things might not be so nice while you're running up in Brooklyn. Wipe your feet when you come into my house. When you're running up in Brooklyn, running up in Brooklyn. Keep it moving, keep it real, keep it safe, or you might have to rethink your thoughts about running up in Brooklyn. You might have to rethink your thoughts about running up in Brooklyn. Yeah. Running up in Brooklyn, Brooklyn. microwave. He's out in Brooklyn. He's out in Brooklyn. John Robinson, God rest his soul, was out here. Frankie Feliciano, up in Brooklyn, up in Brooklyn. Bang the party. Guess what? It's up in Brooklyn. It's up in Brooklyn. And if you don't hear your name right about now, no disrespect, because we still love you here out in Brooklyn. But in the time it took to make this song, me and Kerri have consumed a half a bottle of black, and we're not in Brooklyn.